Hi. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube. Actually, well, that's not true. I was recently in Matt Fistful of Dice's Cloak and Dagger game, and I just finished a hangout with good old Tim Harper and Alex Gillot, Captain Gothnog. But this hangout is for well. Casting Shadows competition contest. He has a extra copy of Mythic Britain lying around, as one does, and he is offering to send it to somebody who creates a good character using RuneQuest rules, rolling down the line, and well. I don't have RuneQuest 6 on me yet, unfortunately, which is a shame because anybody who knows me knows that I love BRP. But instead, what I'm going to be doing is using the RuneQuest Essentials and filling in a character. And I just figured I'd just do this live because it's easier than trying to make a video with my crappy webcam. So yeah, let's get started. So I have here my the RuneQuest Essentials. I'm going to look at the character creation summary. Luckily, because it's BRP, I'm pretty well familiar with a lot of this stuff. Let me see if I can share this with you guys. You can see it as I'm reading it. All right, so this is the character creation summary. Character concept. Because we're going to be rolling down the line for this character, I don't want to create too much of a concept yet. It's going to be a fantasy character, obviously, but yeah, I don't know if I want to commit to a character before I roll their characteristics. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be rolling characteristics and determining what kind of character it is as we roll them up and look at all the other attributes and skills and see what kind of character is birthed from our imagination. Yeah, let's get that imagery out of our head. So I'm gonna grab myself here some of my good D6s, and here we go. So let me open up the character. Let me open the fillable character sheet that I have here, and maybe, yeah, I guess I'll screen share that. Share. Okay. So here we have stuff. So obviously our player's name is Aaron. I don't have a character name yet. I want to fill that in later when I have an idea. A lot of this stuff I'm going to figure out later. So yeah, let's go into characteristics. So for characteristics, just like in Call of Cthulhu, well, particularly 6th edition and an earlier Call of Cthulhu and a lot of BRP games, we're going to roll 3d6 and 2d6 plus 6 for a couple of them. But we're going to be rolling 3d6. And instead of assigning numbers, we're just going to go straight down the line. So let's see what we get here. Nice. Okay, so for strength, we got a 12. Constitution. Constitution less good. That's a 10. Size is 2d6 plus 6. So okay, our size is pretty impressive. We got a 15. That's a rather large person, at least above average sized individual. Dex, another 3d6. Ooh, okay. Well, all that size has made us kind of kind of slow. So we only got a 7 in dexterity. And intelligence is another 2d6 plus 6. All right, not bad. We're going to go, let's see, that's 7 plus 6, so 13. And back to 3d6 for power. I have the power! That's but a 10, so I don't have the power. I spoke too soon. But charisma, maybe we'll have a really good charisma score. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so 15 for charisma. So we're a pretty charismatic, large person with pretty good strength, decent, pretty good intelligence, and but our dex is lacking. We're not. Perhaps we're sickly. We're sort of maybe weak we're weak of constitution, obviously, and we're not very powerful. We don't have a lot of internal power that drives a lot of things in this game, like magic and willpower. So we don't have those reserves of power within our person. So let me end the screen sharing here real quick, and let's just talk about this. So what do I see this character being so far? Just first impressions. All right, so I see a yeah. Look at these numbers. So strength's okay. Con leaves something to be desired. I mean, it's pretty average. Size is impressive. The highest you can go there is 18. That's a 15. So yeah, pretty large individual. And dexterity is abominable. So perhaps this person is. I like to think that this person might be a little bit overweight, just from what I'm seeing here. They've got a pretty big size, but the size doesn't contribute much to their constitution or their strength. I mean, strength's good, but it's not astounding. So I'm thinking this is going to be a sort of a corpulent character. Yeah, some kind of that's got a decent intelligence, so probably makes up for their lack of physical acumen for a sharp mind, but does have a decent strength. But still I think that they're they get away with having a sharp mind and a really good personality. Just this is a very person that people like to be around. So perhaps he's some sort of merchant. Yeah, I like that idea. Perhaps he's like a he that's how he gets by in the world. Is he's gained a lot of weight, perhaps because of he's got good amount of social standing and riches, and so he probably is well fed, and sort of underneath all of that pudge is perhaps somebody that was once rather strong, and has lost a bit of their health over time because of this comfortable life, and definitely does not have the dexterity. They're just rather clumsy. Their weight the bulk gets in the way of their movements, so that's definitely a problem, and doesn't have like a lot of willpower. So obviously is somebody who doesn't have a lot of reserves of energy. So is not necessarily inclined to magic or being a very willful person. Just which probably means they're also very easily tempted, which kind of goes along with this hedonistic maybe, or just very worldly person, man of worldly pleasures. So let me go ahead and look here at our character creation summary. So we rolled the characteristics. And now we're going to calculate attributes. Use the characteristics to determine action points, damage modifier, experience modifier, healing rate, hit points, luck points, movement, and strike rank as described in pages 8 to 11. So I'm going to go ahead and go to 8 to 11. Luckily, I recognize a lot of this from Call of Cthulhu and other BRP stuff, so that's fine. And there's a lot of handy charts, so I know like damage modifier and, uh, and HP and other things like that's familiar to me. So this isn't going to be too hard. So the first thing we're going to look at is action points. So let me share this with you. 1 second. Uh, so yes, okay, share. So action points. It says. So we're going to add our intelligence and our dex, and we're going to consult the chart. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be a very actionable person. Well, we have an intelligence of a 13, and we have a dex of but 7, so that's going to be 20. Not terrible, and that's going to give us 2 action points. And action points, from what I understand, are just the things that you can do in combat, for the most part. So then damage modifier. Damage modifier is something I'm pretty familiar with. So strength plus size. Our strength is 12 and our size is 15. So our damage modifier is going to be pretty decent. We're going to have a damage modifier of plus 1d2. All right, so we'll flip coins to determine how much damage we do. So plus 1d2. Gotcha. And experience modifier. And this is charisma. So our charisma is pretty good. It's 15, so altogether we're going to get plus 1 on our experience modifier. Healing rate is going to be, I'm going to guess it's going to be a little piss poor considering our constitution. So yeah, our constitution is well, okay, not as horrible as I thought. We're going to get 2 healing rate. Don't necessarily know what that means. I have never really played RuneQuest before, but yeah, I can imagine. I did some reading and on it, and that's just going to help us with recovering HP, obviously. Movement rates. All characters have a movement rate of 6 meters, so I'm just going to put 6m there. Assuming that they don't have like other things like racial stuff, but we're just going to make a human because we don't necessarily know other races. So we're just going to make a human. Should have made that clear in the beginning, but yeah. Strike rank. Strike rank. This is something I'm not entirely familiar with either, but I can imagine that so it's the average of our intelligence and our dex. So that's going to be fun considering how vastly different those 2 things are. So intelligence plus dex is 20, so the average is 10. So that doesn't seem great. I have to say that when I started this, and I was just kind of fooling around and messing with character creation just to kind of figure how things worked, I had ridiculous rolls. Like I had like a 15, 16, like 14. My intelligence was like, it was a perfect 18. Everything, it was crazy. The only thing was I had a power of 9, but everything was like amazing. And I'm glad that we didn't record that one, or I didn't go with that one, because I really want to. Characters who are good at everything are not as interesting as characters that excel at only a few things and are perhaps shitty at a lot of things. So so let's look at the next part of our character. Yeah, so luck points. Okay, luck points is going to be based on power, and we're only going to get 2 luck points. So luck points is up here. And luck points are, there's a lot of different systems that use like something like this, to alter die rolls, sort of create effects, or maybe get out of a bad situation. Song of Ice and Fire has destiny points, and D&D now has inspiration. A lot of games have, and there's other games have action points. So luck is what we deal is the currency here in RuneQuest. So far, not a just sort of an average lucky character, I guess. And so next is so we got luck points, and now magic points equal power. So we've got only 10 magic points. Let's see, how did I do this last time? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add text, and I'm going to try to see if I can make. Well, I think it's the best we're going to do. I can try maybe putting it. If I do that, and then yeah. So I just typed an O basically, and yeah. I'll probably never use this character, unfortunately, but at least I know where my starting magic points are. All right, and let's see. We're almost to the end of this part, the attributes portion. So let's look at that was magic, 10 hit points. And so hit points in RuneQuest, I've seen systems do this before, but have location as opposed to it's very location related as opposed to just your general pool of hit points. So that's pretty cool. I've never done that before, but so we're gonna add our con and our size is 15, and our con is only 10, so 25, and then we just consult this chart here for each thing. So 25. So I'm gonna write this down just so I don't have to keep looking back. So for head, so it's gonna be 5, 7. Oops, broke my pencil. We'll use a pen here. Okay, so 5, 7 for chest. Abs. Our abs are going to be 6. We got a 6-pack. And not really, considering what we decided our character looks like. Each arm is going to get 4. And each leg is going to get, let's see, arm, leg, and each leg is going to get 5. And that's head, chest, abdomen. Okay, so I'm going to enter these into our character sheet. Let's see. Okay, so hit points. No, we don't want this. We don't want that. We want. Okay, there we go. Our head is going to have 5 hit points. Our chest is going to have 7. Our abdomen is going to have 6. Our arms are each going to have 4 hit points. And our legs are going to have 5. Okay. And to be honest, this probably is the shape of our character. Yes, just very stocky gentleman. But yeah. So then next is, so we determined that. So I think that's done with the attributes part. So let's go back here. I'm going to stop the screen sharing real quick. And I'm going to take a look at the summary again and see what's next for us in terms of character creation. So attributes, we did all that. Movement, strike rank. Make sure that I did all of that. Go back to page 8. Well, one thing we didn't do was height and weight. Our size is 15. So we're 186 to 190 centimeters I'm going to go with a heavy build and say that our weight is, and this is in kilograms. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm an American, and I'm not good at converting uh, from one system to another because, well, um, good old America. So I'll just take it for granted. I'm just gonna make him at the heaviest I can think of. So 130. I'm gonna put as 135 kilograms, and 100, and then for his height, I'm gonna make him 190 centimeters tall. So let's just go ahead. I'm gonna type that in off screen just because it's not that important. It's 190 centimeters, and weight is, what did we say again? That was weight was 135 kilograms. So 135 kilograms. Gotcha. Right. So next thing is back to our summary. I think we start with skills next. Yes. So standard skills. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to screen share. And we're going to determine what the basic, basically the basis of our skills is the basic percentage, where they start at. And we determine that by adding together our characteristics, which is why characteristics are so important, because they determine our standard skills, or at least what we start at. So athletics is strength plus dex, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go back. I have terrible memories, we're going to go back and forth. Strength plus dex is only 19, so we're going to start with 19% on that one. Boating is strength plus constitution, so 12 plus 10 is 22. Brawn, strength plus size. This is going to be pretty good for us. Strength 12, size 15, 27. 27 is respectable. It's like a little under 1/3 chance at being brawny. Plus, we're going to be able to add to these later, so that's good. Conceal is dex plus power. Okay, so dex plus power is it's going to be our worst stat, probably. 17. 17. Customs. Customs we're going to be pretty good with. Our intelligence is, okay, so that's going to be 26, I believe, right? Yeah, we got that right. 13? Right. 13 intelligence. Dex and charisma. Dance. Well, he's very charismatic, but he's a chubby dude. So 22. Deceit. Oh, this is going to be our wheelhouse right here. Perfect for this character. So deceit. How's he going to cheat people, I guess? Or, well, yeah, this product's fine. This is fine quality fur. It's from a fucking skunk or something. So is intelligence, charisma. So that's 28. So yeah, that's good. Now we're seeing where our guy starts to be useful. Drive, dex, and power once again. Terrible. So he's probably not driving the wagon. He'll probably just be in the wagon while some other person drives him around. Sounds about right. Endurance is con times 2, so that's only 20, I believe. Right? We only have a constitution of 10. Correct. Dex times 14. He's not an evasive person, so he probably won't be doing a lot of dodging. And first aid, intelligence plus dex, 13 plus, I believe our dex is 7, so 20. So he doesn't have very nimble hands, but he kind of knows what he's doing, so he might not have a terrible chance at healing somebody. Influence. Influence is charisma times 2. Charisma is really good. It's 15, I believe. So, hey, yeah, we finally got something that's above the 20s. So, oh no, we had the customs. So, yeah, 30, correct. Yeah, 30. So, 30 an influence. Yeah, that makes sense for this character. He's probably like a really good wheeler dealer. Probably good in a social situation. Probably kind of well known. He's not a no. He's by no means nobility. At least in my mind, he's most likely nouveau riche, in sort of in a growing middle class that's perhaps happening in this world. Probably not well respected by nobles or commoners, given the fact that but well known enough, and they know that they need him for well stuff because he is a merchant. So he's a necessary evil, perhaps. Though I don't think he's probably not necessarily evil. He's just a necessary evil. So intelligence plus power for insight. So once again, okay, so 23, I believe. Yeah. So I mean, he might be able to like read people a little bit, but he doesn't have sort of the wisdom to figure it out. Perhaps. Locale. So I believe this means like knowing your area, knowing basically local knowledge. And that's intelligence times 2, and that's 36 again because we have a. Oh wait a minute! This would have been. This is I completely messed up. This is only 26. I'm sorry. I just realized people are probably screaming at me, and then I apologize. So yes, this was the first time we hit. I thought this was weird. This is the first time we hit 30 or past the 20s. So this is only a 26. Yikes. Oh boy. Percent. I only say that because I doing math on live on the internet is very 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 bad thing to do. Nobody should do it because you're bound to make a mistake and look like an idiot. So perception, intelligence plus power, that's going to be the same as our insight. So 23. Ride, dex plus power, back to same thing as up here. So 17. Once again, probably not great on a horse. Sing is power plus charisma. So that's 10 plus 15. So 25. He's got some pipes on him, perhaps. Maybe if you put some more points in there, that might be an interesting character thing. Like he's a singing merchant. I hear him through the streets as he's coming with his wagon full of goods, singing and chanting his wares. Stealth, intelligence plus dex. That's only going to be 20. But he's easy to pick out in a crowd. Probably doesn't necessarily wear the most stealthy of clothes either. He's probably in sort of opulent clothing, so he's not going to be good in the shadows. Swim is strength plus con, so 20. I believe 22. Yes, 22. And unarmed is strength plus dex, and that's only going to be 19. He's probably not much of a fighter. And then he doesn't have his willpower is crap. He is easily tempted. Easily. All right. So that's the standard skills. This is where they're going to start out. We're going to be adding points to these later. Let me look at the next part of our character creation. So we determined the character skills. So calculate base values for standard skills by adding together the appropriate characteristics. Done. So then culture. Decide on a cultural background: barbarian, civilized, nomadic, and primitive. And these are, for those of you unfamiliar, there's probably more options with RuneQuest, and these are actually pretty easily customizable. It is BRP, so it's a very versatile system. So, but these are because this is sort of the essentials, and it's a 203-page essential, basic pack of basic game. But you get a lot. I mean, 203 pages in a basic game, that's awesome. Um, so, but so the civilizations they offer to you are barbarian, civilized, nomadic, primitive. I think he's definitely going to be civilized. And what we're going to do is we're going to allocate 100 points amongst the listed standard skills. So, depending on our culture, it's going to have a list of certain skills that we can that that character is going to be able to specialize in, depending on like where they come from. Um, the chosen professional skills. So then there's also going to be certain professions or professional skills that come with your culture that you can choose from. And then a combat style. He probably is not going to have a combat style. We'll see. I think because it's optional. You don't have to have a combat style. Um, so I have to have a minimum of 5 skills. Skills must have a minimum of 5% and can't receive more than 15%. Customs and native tongue each start at plus 40. So customs, it says it starts at plus 40. So I guess that means I'm going to add 40 to this either way. So 66. Real quick, let's go to the civilizations section and take notes as to what our civilized culture is going to offer us. Probably, yeah, I'm pretty sure I passed it. Standard skills, combat skills, cultures and careers. Culture. Okay. So barbarian, we're not barbarians, we're not primitive, we're civilized. Just to read this, the civilized culture is epitomized by a semblance of law and order, underpinned by complex social codes and supported by a bureaucracy. Civilized people believe themselves superior to all other cultures because their achievements tend towards permanence, sprawling cities, imposing temples, celebratory monuments, and the recording of history and events in books, tomes, and scrolls. Of course, this is a thin veneer. The most civilized of cities can be more lawless than any barbarian frontier settlement, and the social codes can be cruder than the hospitality rituals of nomads. But the civilized culture prides itself on its achievements, its infrastructure, its professional artisans, and its ability to easily extend its reach to wherever it wishes to go. So the standard skills that we can put stuff into are conceal, deceit, drive, influence, insight, locale, and willpower. So I want to check something real quick. All right. Apply static bonuses to customs native. These are plus 40% to each, irrespective of the culture chosen. Gotcha. Select the 3 professional skills from the options offered. So let's look at the professional skills. So commerce definitely is one that he's going to have. So commerce, courtesy, and either streetwise or language. I see him more of a. He's probably a little bit more of a traveler, so it probably behooves him more to have language because he's going to need to be dealing with a lot of different cultures. So we're going to give him language as opposed to streetwise. So we'll fill those in when we go back to our character sheet. If desired, select a single combat style. No, he's not a fighter. He's going to be the guy that he's probably. See, this is the kind of character, and I like to start out with these kind of characters a lot. These are the kind of characters I like to play, where they are a great catalyst for bringing an adventuring group together. Your character as the merchant is kind of funding the trip, or sort of the leader kind of knows where he wants to go, and he needs these adventurers, these stronger people to protect him or to enforce what he needs to do or whatever. So I love playing these types of characters. They kind of sit at the back, but they have their own purpose. They're good at getting the characters out of tough social situations, or help with funding things, or getting items that they might desperately need. So yeah, I like it. I like it as opposed to the standard sort of sword and shield kind of things going on. So I'm going to distribute 100 points amongst the listed standard skills, the chosen professional skills, and the combat style if selected. No, we didn't. Increasing that skill by 1% for every point spent on improving it. Um, Players are free to choose how much skill is improved by, but each skill must receive a minimum of 5% and cannot receive more than 15. So I have to spend at least 5 on everything, as opposed to everything has to have at least 5. Yeah, so let's go into our character sheet and professional skills. We chose um, commerce, courtesy, and language. Now, there are there are characteristics, and I don't know. Let me check if in the skills section of the rulebook they tell you what um, the characteristics are for those professional skills. I think it only shows you the major skills, and you kind of have to determine on your own what what your okay. So professional skills. Here we go. Professional skills. Art, commerce is intelligence plus charisma. So let me make a note of that. Int plus cha. Um, Courtesy is another int plus cha. We're definitely playing to our strengths here. And let's go with what was it? Language? Yeah, language is another int plus cha. We also have to remember that our native language gets intelligence plus charisma as well. So let's go back here. So we know that these are all the same. So plus int plus int plus. So we're going to start out with so let's see, what's our other 28 on all of these. So 28, 28, 28. And native tongue is going to start out at 28. Plus, we're adding 40 to it. So it's actually going to be starting at 68. So that's great. Awesome. Okay, so commerce, courtesy, language, and then what were the standard? Let's go back to the thing and look at what standard skills we have to sync points into for this character. Free, official, merchant, physician, hunter. These are careers, which is going to come up later. Civilized. So standard skills are conceal, conceal, deceit, drive, influence, insight, locale, Willpower. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go through these standard skills first, and we're going to see what are we just going to devote. At first, we're just going to put 5 points into the things that we really don't care about that much, like the things that we think that he's probably not the best at anyway. And so yeah, so definitely conceal, drive, insight, and willpower are his least great things, and I want to kind of keep with that. So let's just start to make the math easier. So conceal 1, drive 2, insight 3, willpower 4. So that's 20 points right there of our 100. So let's go through these. So conceal, he's going to be up to 22. Insight 28. That's just my dog if you hear scratching. Oh, drive. Drive is going to be a abysmal 22. And willpower is going to be 25. So he's about a quarter of. He's got a quarter of will right there. That's about it. And then yeah, final. So now we know that we have 80 more points to play with. So 80. So we've got 575. So yeah, we've got enough. So let's start seeing what we'll put like we'll put 10 points into now. We'll try to put 10 points into like 8 skills. So let's look at the standard skills first. Conceal. No, deceit. Deceit's the other one that we're good at. So deceit. Can only put about 15. At the most 15 points. 38. I think I'm gonna put. I think I'm gonna put 10 points in there just to start. So 38. So now we're down to 70 points to spend. Deceit. So that was deceit. Drive we took care of. Influence. Influence we're going to add another 10. So now we've got 60 points to work with. Locale. Locale is going to be another 10. So now we have now we have 50 points to work with. And that was it. Yeah, conceal, deceit, drive, influence, insight, locale, will. So let's look at our professional skills now. So now we have 50 points. Now we can start dropping like 15% into all of these things. So I really want him to probably be like really good at languages. So let's so yeah, let's put 15 points into here. So 15. See what I say about doing math on the internet? Not smart. Not a good thing to do because you make yourself look foolish. So that's going to be 43. 15. So they're all going to be 43. So So 4 times 15. I'm sorry. 3 times 15 is 45. So we've got 5 more points to spend. Okay. So what would we like to? Maybe we can put something a little bit over the 50% threshold. That might be good. Or we can. I think he's a merchant. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make this 48. There we go. That's no, but I already put 50. I can't put more than that. So 43. So what? So I can only do one of the things that I put either 10 or 15, 10 or 5 into. So one of these guys. Huh. So because willpower can make maybe one of our bad skills better. Seal, customs, deceit. What's the other one that he's good at? We're gonna make his influence. It's gonna let's make his influence 45. I'm happy with that. All right, so that is. So let me just look at you guys for a second so you can see my lovely face. So what have we determined? We know that this character is a corpulent man who, obviously is not taking care of his body. Um, and we've determined that that's because of perhaps that he's a merchant, perhaps somebody who has wealth at his disposal, somebody who doesn't also need to use his body as much. Maybe he has to use more of his mind and his voice, so and his personality. So we've determined that he is a merchant, that he is a wheeler and dealer, somebody that's very charismatic, but has some strength to back it up, just a little bit, perhaps back from his youth, or just natural strength. He's not a very willful person. He's not a very doesn't have a lot of reserves of energy. He's not. He doesn't have a lot of willpower. He doesn't have that kind of. He's no connection to magic. Very, if so, very very minor. He's not a fighter. He's going to try to talk his way out of any situation he comes across, and yeah, that's about it. That's what I can think of so far. We know that he can be deceitful. We know that he's not good with a horse. He's not good even driving a horse from a wagon. He requires other people to do that. So he'll probably have some sort of like servant hireling to do that for him. Perhaps one of the characters, if he were to be part of an adventuring party. He's very good with languages. He has to speak to multiple cultures and people, so he's really good with that. So he's very good in those kind of situations. So let's go to the next part of character creation, and we're going to. Here we go. Okay, so we determined culture. I think the next part is career. Yes, career. Choose a career from those available to your character's culture. Distribute 100 points amongst the career's listed standard skills and whatever professional skills were chosen. Not all of the available skills need to be improved, but no individual skill can receive more than 15%. Identify if the career uses magic and then consult the appropriate magic chapter for information on spells and so forth. He's probably not going to deal with magic. We're not going to deal with that today. Maybe we'll create a character with magic at a later point, just for fun. So what we're going to do is then so let's look at the careers. Let's go back up to the cultures and careers and all that. Civilized, professional skill. So careers, so civilized. He's a merchant. So we know that. So luckily we determined that from a very early part in this thing. So merchant. So he's a broker, a hawker, a moneylender, a smuggler, a trader. Merchants come in many forms: the street vendor, small shopkeeper, wily caravanserai. Yeah, I always mess up that. I've seen that term so many times, and I love that word too. Caravanserai. intrepid adventurer, merchant prince, and many, many more. Although their methods or merchandise are different, all have one thing in common: to trade commodities, be it goods, food, livestock, people, property, or even money, for the highest profit. Merchants know a bargain and how to drive a good one, and not all trade in legal merchandise. Due to their dealings as middlemen, many merchants pick up some knowledge of foreign cultures and languages. So the standard skills that we can use, and I'm going to write this down. Flip over this. Gotcha. Okay, so boating. That makes sense. Drive, deceit, insight, influence, locale, and ride. And I think do we pick another 3 professional skills? We pick careers. So yeah, professional skills. So we're gonna pick 3. Um, we already have commerce and courtesy, so should we do culture? Oh boy, running out of ink. This is fun. Culture. Uh, we can give him another language. And we'll try to specify his other language skill then to make it more, yeah. And seamanship, streetwise. Do we want to give him streetwise now that we have the ability to? So if we, so we can only put points into the skills that we select. Distribute 100 points amongst the careers listed standard skills and whatever professional skills were chosen, increasing each skill by 1% and need to be improved. So does that mean that if I wanted to like increase skills more, that I would choose them again? I wonder. I say we're just not gonna try. We're just gonna go ahead and um, we're just gonna just be more uh, a wide range of skills as opposed to really being good in a few. So we're gonna give them. So we're gonna do culture, another language, and we'll do kind of like the idea of him being a good navigator. Streetwise would be really good too. I think we're gonna make him a good navigator just to add some, because we've kind of already been going down that typical deceitful kind of wily merchant kind of thing. So let's give him some better adventuring qualities like being able to navigate. So that's good. Yeah, I like that. We have another 100 points to spend. We don't need to put stuff in things if we don't want to, though we might because it works out well with the math. So let's actually look at what these. We know that language is 15 plus. I mean, is going to be intelligence plus charisma. So we know that. So let's look at what culture. Um, the culture skill is. Let's look at it. That's intelligence times 2. It's going to be 26. And navigation. It's probably navigation is intelligence. So this is actually going to be kind of low for him, but I think that's fine. I think we want to. I'd rather do that. At least give him something. So yeah. So let's. I got to determine what language he's speaking. Let's just say this is like a common fantasy setting, and we're just going to make this elf. Oops. Elf. And we'll make the other language dwarf. And that's another int. Plus charisma. And he's going to be starting that at 20 intelligence plus charisma 28. Oops. 28. And culture, say elf, going to be intelligence times 2, so it's going to be starting at 26. And navigation is intelligence plus power, so he's only going to get 23. That, so navigate. 23. And just for the hell of it, put int times 2. We will put int plus, just so we know. Just so you know. Gotcha. Okay. So then we have, I have my list of other standard skills I need to add to as well. We have another 100 points. So, and we can only add as many as 15 to anything. So boating, he's probably a land merchant. I don't see him as a sailor. I see him as a land merchant. He's probably in some kind of landlocked area or desert or something like that. But he's not. He doesn't trade overseas. He trades by wagon. So boating, he's not going to get anything in, and we don't have to. Drive, we might go ahead and give him something in drive. So let's go ahead and just give him 32. We'll add 10, so we're down to 90. Deceit, we're going to pump that up again, definitely. And I think for deceit, we're going to give him 15. So we're going to be down to 75, but that's fine. So 15 plus 15, 15, 38 plus 15 is going to be 53. So that's his best skill. Well, no, not best skill, but it's one of his better skills by far. So now we have 75 points to spend. Let's see if any other standard skills interest us. Insight, he probably wants to read people just to get a good idea of like selling them stuff. So we're going to give him, we're going to add, so now we're down to 65 points, which is fine. Influence, let's just give him 5. So we're down to, so now we're down to, now we're down to 60 points to spend. Yeah. And locale. You know what? Let's give another. So we're down to 55. We're pushing this up to 55, and we're going to make this down to 55. Locale, he's probably like he knows like a little bit about, but he's more like a world traveler. So yeah, let's just leave that the way it is. Ride, he's not good at on horseback. He has to be on a wagon. So we've got 55 points more to spend. Um, so let's just add these 15 and see what we have left. That's going to leave us with 45. It's going to leave us with 10 points after we do this. So so 15 plus 28 is 43. 15 plus going to be 41 and 38. All right. So these are good skills for him. You know, he's got an average chance of doing them. I don't know what the optimal. I mean, I don't really care about optimal builds or anything like that. That's silly. But I don't know like what's supposed to be good. Like obviously, like it's percentage and it's BRP, so you know, um, like in Cthulhu, they say like specialize in like a few things. Don't try to spread yourself out too thin. And it looks like we kind of spread ourselves out a little bit. Like we're just average at everything. We're not like overwhelmingly good at one thing. And that was mainly because I didn't know if I could like add to these again because of the professional skills stuff. But yeah, I guess. But I'm happy with this. You know, this is fine. It's still good. It's you still got a good chance, and we might be able to improve it later. So we've got 10 more points to spend. We could put that in locale. On something we haven't spent more than 5 points on. So what else? Drive, deceit, insight. Let's just go ahead and give 10 to locale. So he has 46 on locale. Once again, bringing him just nearly average. Yeah. All right. So that's done. Let me take a look at you guys again. So yeah, that's done. We finished that part of the skills. So I'm gonna take another look at the summary of character creation here. See what I have to do next. Oh, I think I went too far. Gone too far. Ugh. All right. So careers. So bonus skill points depends on age, but default characters have 150 points with a limit of assigning no more than 15 points per skill. Players may choose one additional professional skill as a hobby specialty. Speciality. So let's look. I want to make him older. So let's see how that affects bonus skills. Age category. What's the age category? Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see how many skill points, bonus skill points I'm going to get if I make him older. Because I see him as older. I don't see him as a younger guy. I don't see him starting at like at recommended adventure age, which is like 21. I like to see him as um, I like to see him as perhaps as an older person. Fortunately, maybe it says in the skills section. We might just do the average. Because I'm having a hard time finding skills. Now, I kind of remember what they did for Cthulhu in terms of age. Like after so many years past like the age of 18, you get so many points. I think like 20 points. But I don't want to. I don't want to make that assumption if RuneQuest has a different has different rules. So what we'll see, we'll just do one more check the rule books. Mechanics. It might also be something that they just didn't add to the essentials, and they kind of like maybe they shouldn't have mentioned it. But yeah, I think that perhaps it could just be something that they added. Let's just do 150 points. That's more than enough. Really, we don't. We're gonna say that he's older, but we're not gonna account for that in his skill points. So let's look at his skills again. Let me screen share this with you guys again. So back into the skill sheet again we go. Let's screen share, and then we're gonna go to this, and we're going to share. Okay, so he's gonna get one more professional skill as like a hobby skill. Well, let me take a look at the professional skills then. Let's see what kind of, because you can pick from anything. So let's look at the skills section and see what kind of skills. Sorry for my phone there. What kind of skills are available as professional skills, so that I can kind of, maybe we can pick something like kind of wacky, kind of like, oh, this is a weird like hobby that he has, or just something to make him more complete as a person, more rounded as a person. So we've got art, bureaucracy. That might be good. I mean, that's more practical, but art's also pretty cool. Commerce, courtesy, intelligent, courtesy, craft. He could be good at crafting things. He's more of a seller than a crafter. Culture, devotion. He could be. Devotion is more of a magical skill, though, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna make him religious. He's not the kind of religious guy. He's definitely he worships money. He probably has religious beliefs. He's probably superstitious, but he's not religious. Disguise, engineering, exhort. That's another magical skill. We don't want folk. Gambling might be fun. Ooh, that might be good. Healing. No. Literacy. Ooh, literacy I like. Lore. Musicianship. Seamanship. Oratory. Sleight. Streetwise. Track. Survival. Teach. Yeah, let's I like the fact that he's well read. Like I like, because I've already given him a couple languages. I want to make him really. I see him as sort of a very good at. He probably has access to buying books. And I can see how that would be useful in sort of an adventuring party. Like if he needs to, like, every adventurer might not be like able to read. So let's see. Let's give him literacy. He loves books. He loves to read, and that's intelligence times 2. Int 2. And so he's going to start with 26 in that skill. And now we just can play around. We can pretty much add anything. We have 150 points to spend, but we can only give him. We're going to give him as much as we can here. So that's going to be 41. It's not bad. And let's just let's optimize. So we're down to we did a 15. We're down to 135. So let's see what other let's start with our 15 pointers, and then we'll you know we'll narrow down from there. 15. Let's definitely give him another 15 in this. So 58 is the thing. Yeah. So 100, now we're down to 120 points. Now we're down to so let's see, 15 plus 38. I know I did this earlier. That's 53. Now we're down to 105 points. Now we're down to 90 points. Can I increase native tongue? That might be good. Let's say we can. I'm sorry if we can't. But so 68. So it's going to be 73. Yeah, he's going to be really eloquent. So 73. So now we're down to 85. No, not 85. We're down to 70. We're down to yeah, we're down to 75 points to spend. So okay, let's add some other stuff here. So 75 points. That means we've got we can do 5 more at 15. I think that's what we're going to do. We're not going to add like little increments. We're going to add just 15 points all around. So we're going to make him a monster at deceit. So now we got, so that's 1. So we've got 4 more to spend. Customs. Okay, this is going to be 71, I believe. No, more than that. 66 plus 15. Yeah, I think this is if this is 15 plus was it 60, 66? Oh no, 68. So that's 83. See what I tell you about doing math on the internet? It's very, very bad news. Yeah, 83. And I think we were right on that. I've lost track. If I've done something wrong math-wise, oh well. My own damn fault. So more than 66. 76 then. I'm sorry. I've lost track of the numbers now. If this is wrong, I'm sorry. I think I'm right. Because okay, anyway, I can redo this. So intelligence, we start with intelligence. So it starts at 26. We added 40, so it was 66. So okay, so we added 15. So it's 81. Now we've got 3 more 15s to spend. So let's perhaps give him better chances with locale. That's not. We could just boost him up to 70 here. Now we got 2 more 15s to spend. Let's give him a better chance at dodging things, or at least get So yeah, so 30. I just feel more comfortable since he's not going to be fighting. That'd be better. So it's 1 more 15 to spend. What's he going to be good at? Well, we were kind of talking about how he's a kind of a good singer. perhaps. So I like the idea of the singing. So let's give him 40 40% singing. Yeah, that's awesome. Great. Now let me look. Now that we've done all that, I think we're near that. We're coming towards the end of character creation, guys. Um, equipment. Refer to the money and equipment chapter at 47. Now I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna care too much about the equipment. I'm more interested in this guy as a character than he is like what is he carrying around. Like some of this stuff might. Let's just take a look at this chapter just to see what what kind of money he would be starting with, what kind of because he's not going to have armor. He's not, so he's civilized. So he's going to start with 46 times 50 silver pieces. No, times 75 silver pieces. Didn't roll great. 7 altogether times 75. That's 525 silver pieces altogether. Not great. Not wonderful. But so yeah, let's just that's the case that we started with. So let's say that he's actually just had a run of bad luck. Then, if he's only starting with 525 silver pieces, just according to this chart, what would be the average there? You would have had a greater, a lot more. I mean, he rolled three. We rolled 3 ones on that 46 roll. So, so let's just say he had that's probably one of the things that's spurning his adventure is he just came into a bit of bad luck. In his trade. Sorry for this. Okay, let's just do. So yeah, here's garments and stuff, and I think everything's here is done in silver pieces. I'm not sure. I'm not too worried about what his equipment is. He doesn't really. He might have, I don't know, a knife. He'll probably have a dagger, perhaps a hand crossbow, just for the heck of it. I mean, he's not going to be able to use them very well. Doesn't really. He won't have any armor. Yeah, it's not that important to me right now. Like what his equipment is. It's more important to me what his character is, who he is as a character, and what he's like as a person. So other than that, let's give our character a name, and then we'll start to discuss who he is as a person. And this, if we had weapons, this is what we would care about. Armor worn. I don't think regular clothes add anything to armor points, but I don't know. Yeah. Doesn't have any magic. Passions, I'm not sure where that plays into it. Animism, mysticism. This is all. I mean, we can. It's got. What did we say it was? 525 silver pieces. So there's that. SP. Yeah, let's instead of filling this stuff out, let's just talk about who he is. So let me exit screen share. And let's just you and I talk for a little bit. Okay. So the character is a merchant coming from a landlocked nation. or at least a group of nations, and a region. Uh, let's call it the. It seems that we've decided that he speaks Elf and Dwarf, so Elven and Dwarven. So there's a lot of typical fantasy tropes in this area. So he probably comes from a human kingdom, the kingdom of Navarre, Naver, Navarre. The kingdom of Navarre is situated on a river. At least its capital is situated on a river, and it's sort of the kingdom is carved out in the middle of a valley. At the end of the valley is a lush, rich forest, and surrounding the valley, obviously, are mountains. So in the mountains, you have the dwarves, and the dwarves are, your typical, very typical dwarves. They're miners. They value precious gems and precious metals, uh, and they have a very strong mountain kingdom that has been around for about as long as the stone has been around. To the south are the to the south of the elves of the woodland kingdom. They are they're very much interested in magics and in nature, and they have been here longer than even the dwarves, and are very interested in recording history, and have been pushed out more and more by the development of the human kingdom of Navarre, but have maintained sort of a peaceful status, at least at this time. And a big reason for this is because, well, people like our character, merchants. We'll figure out a name for him in a second. Uh, our character is has gone back and forth up the mountains and down the valley into the forest to trade goods, precious metals and gems from the northern mountains, uh, herbs and spices and silk, and other elven and other mystical elven goods from the south. Whereas the north provides, well, not the north, the Central Valley, the human kingdom of Navarre, provides goods such as agricultural, goods, wheat and perhaps some apples, and just is a very agrarian culture, mainly because of the rich and luscious land uh, that is provided by the rivers that come down into the valley from the mountains, mineral rich and very good for crops. And so, because of this, we're gonna let's start to give our character a name. The first thing that comes to mind is Barnabas. I see this guy with like big mutton chops. Perhaps he's going a little bit bald. His hair is though a little bit long in the back. Perhaps he ties it up in sort of a ponytail kind of thing, or might even have some sort of bun. Um, but he is kind of starting to thin out on the top of his head. He wears very nice clothing, um, and perhaps is a little wasteful with his money on his own appearance and other pleasures. Definitely spending a lot for food and drink, and satin clothes and silks even. Um, he's probably dressed in sort of this mishmash, almost uh, gaudy costuming of a somebody who has taken stuff from the best of the dwarven kingdom and the best of the silks of the elves, and and whatever he can put together in his own in his human lands, and is so far, um, that is what he is that is what he's wearing. So he's kind of a mix match, and he's trying to take the best of each world. and so he's sort of in love with these cultures, and he's a reader. He loves to read. He goes to the libraries of the great capitals whenever he is there to trade goods, and he borrows books and he returns them on his way back. Um, and he buys books. He probably spends a little bit too much money on books as he tries to as Barnabas he will he tries to gain knowledge, and he tries to escape into stories, and everything from reference material to fiction, to biographies. He loves it, um, and it's helped him with his ability to speak the languages of the people that he trades with, which, though a lot of people probably speak the common tongue, a lot of races speak the common tongue. You're more likely to get a good response if you can trade in the language of those who you are selling to and buying from. So, um, that being said, he's a very mercurial man. He has a good head on his shoulders. He's very clever, and knows that in this business you cannot you cannot fight the need to, well, be a little bit of a trickster. You have to, for your customer's sake and for your own sake, you have to be clever. So you have to sometimes be a liar, and you have to be a cheat sometimes. Though he's probably not a cheat. He's probably a very he probably is never like really cheated somebody, unless there's somebody who he feels deserves to be cheated. He is deceitful, just in case. Perhaps getting across borders, he's had to lie. Perhaps to get out of certain situations with brigands, lying about the cargo that he holds. Um, and yeah, so I mean, he's just naturally is good good at those kind of things. Yeah, and also because he carries and has been responsible for so many uh, resplendent riches. He has grown influence in throughout throughout the kingdoms. Which influence that he can push off on, uh, that he can that he can influence that he can use in dwarven lands, in elven lands, and in the human lands especially. Uh, he likes to sing. Some of the books that he reads have music in them. Sometimes he reads sheet music. It's some way that when he's not reading, if he's um, riding in his caravan, then he is definitely singing to himself. He probably has hirelings too. He probably has people. He probably has one or two people one who probably drives the cart, and maybe another who helps either in the selling of the wares or the setting up of the setting up of shop, or even somebody who is protection. So that's possible. So we know that he's starting out with suboptimal gold or silver for somebody in his situation. So so what does that mean? So we have this character we have Barnabas, who is this smart and mercurial and clever trader from merchant, who has traveled north to the dwarven mountains, south to the elven forests, and has a hub in the human capital. Uh, Something has gone wrong. Uh, he has recently uh, put money into a shipment of, um, let's say a shipment of weapons. And this is taking a big risk because he's never really been much of a weapons trader. But he wanted to get it. The opportunity really was something he couldn't let up on. He or couldn't pass by. So he he took he put money into a shipment of dwarven weapons, and they have gone missing. So he's out money, and he is missing these weapons, and he needs to figure out what happened to the dwarven weapons? What happened to the shipment? Did they were they taken by raiders? Is something going wrong in the dwarven kingdom? And he gets the sense that this is something that he can't just look into on his own with his hirelings, perhaps his apprentice that he has, let's say, and he needs to in fact enlist the help of other of more competent adventurers and warriors and perhaps even those with a knowledge of the arcane. And so he's going to enlist help, and perhaps even the perhaps he becomes Barnabas is contacted by the kingdom of Aldous and by the royal court, and they are very concerned about this as well. So they send their own warrior or wizard or representative with him, and the adventure begins on the road north. So yeah, that is Barnabas. Let's give him the last name. Barnabas. Let's say it's Barnabas. Barnabas Cragbury. Barnabas Cragbury of the Kingdom of Navarre, a human, older, paunchy, large gentleman, man who is of fine taste, fine wines, fine foods, rich foods, but loves his books, loves to trade, loves to sing, and is now concerned with the loss of his precious cargo. And so, to casting shadows, I now, if you've gone through this whole video, I appreciate it. If you want more of a rundown, I can send that to you happily. And this is my submission to win that Mythic Britain book, because damn if it doesn't look awesome, and it will give me a reason to also buy RuneQuest. So I humbly thank you for everything, and I'll see you around. It was fun doing this again. Bye-bye.